Good morning. I'm in Chicago. I just left Beverly Hills a few days ago. Quick turnaround, and now I'm in Chicago. I dropped off my facelift patient this morning. I have to turn around so I'm not in the sun. And so I have actually really good message for you today. So as far as your recovery, whatever plastic surgery procedure you're having, here's something that's really important. So you're doing all this research, I'm sure. You're watching me, you're watching my videos, you're trying to plan a great recovery, I hope. And you need to remember that a lot of the success of your recovery and how you feel afterwards and how quickly you heal and ultimately your result is dependent on whoever is helping you after surgery, whether it be a hired nurse, whether it be a family member, a friend. And so this is really interesting. So we're sitting there this morning. We got up super early. We were at the surgery center in Chicago, I want to say by 6. And my patient, as all patients, of course, as I'm going to be someday, was a little bit nervous. And so she's sitting there, and the nurse there were great post-op instructions, but the nurse was going over a few things with us. And so we're sitting there, and my patient's eyebrows are up, and she's listening, and I can tell she's not getting any of this, right? And so I finally looked at her, and I'm like, hey, you don't have to remember any of this. I got you. She goes, oh, good, And so I thought, that's a really interesting thing. So here's the deal. Sometimes you just drop the patient off for surgery, or your family member or loved one or whatever will drop you off for surgery. And sometimes you just kind of go in on your own. No big deal. But you want to find out ahead of time, hey, when am I going to get some education on what I need to do after surgery? Because usually they give you post-op instructions, a sheet, but there's usually some sort of teaching. And so oddly enough, interestingly enough, the time before surgery is not the time for you to be trying to remember what's going to happen after surgery. You're just not in the space to learn. But oddly enough, the time after surgery is not really the best time for your care person to learn, because they're all of a sudden looking at you, and it doesn't matter how much they've seen this, it looks a little crazy, whatever you've had done, and they're looking at you, and there's like, okay, it's this is going to be a lot, right? And so that's what usually people think. And so then sometimes they're getting instruction, or the nurse is going over things with them about drain care, or hey, we gave them this medication this time, you can give the next dose then. That's really not the time for them to be really learning. So you really want to make sure that they're on it before your surgery. So if they're allowed to go in and meet the nurse when they're dropping you off, even just do a quick handoff, or if they're allowed to sit with you before surgery, that's helpful if there's any education. And then afterwards, you need to make sure that they know that things have already education's already been given to them. It's really important. And sometimes, because I'm years into this and I'm just learning these things now, or figuring this out now to come here and tell you. So to assume that the plastic surgeon's offices are thinking about any of this, they may not be. And so the lesson, to wrap it up again, is find out if, let's say, your sister is recovering you or your husband is recovering you. You want to ask, hey, are you going to go over anything with my sister or my husband? And, oh yeah, we'll tell you when, and they'll tell you when. So that's when you want to kind of look at your person and say, okay, bring a little piece of paper, bring a pen, make sure you jot some things down, make sure you are prepared to get a little education that's going to help us both after surgery. So I hope that helps. I'm heading into the grocery store to get some food, and then I get to go home and I get to spend the next few hours cooking, and I'm making soups and applesauce and just kind of getting everything ready. I love this, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching.